Okay, so let's talk about Bitcoin. And this will go for all the various cryptocurrencies. So before I mention any of this, I just want to say that for, I don't know, since 2005, I've been teaching entrepreneurship and marketing and business building. But for the 8 or 9 years before that, I taught about investing and trading in the financial markets. That was my life. 24 hours a day, studying the markets and helping people learn about trading, telling them what was going to happen in the markets. So I have this long background in trading and investing. And so I thought I'd just lend a little bit of perspective because I just recently saw a friend of mine who's very, very successful business person, multi-million-dollar business, saying, put up a query in social media and said, is it too late for me to get into Bitcoin? And I saw that and I'm like, that's not the right question to ask, in my opinion. And I have to say, I'm not a registered financial advisor, and this is not individual investment advice or anything like that. But what I will tell you is that you have to understand the difference between trading and investing. And investing is something we should all be doing. We should all be investing in assets with the idea that they're going to increase in value over time. And I think if you're an investor, they should be long-term decisions, and you should be picking asset classes and staying in them for a long time. If you're a trader, that means you're going to get in and out of the market. And right now, if you get involved in Bitcoin, you are a trader. It's not an investment. At the current levels of volatility, it is absolutely not an investment. And trust me, the Bitcoin is going to go to crazy heights and it's going to come crashing down to crazy lows. And if you don't know how to get in and out of the market and when and where you should get in and out of the market, and if you don't have the guts and the wherewithal, and it sounded like those things are positives, but what I'm saying is your stomach can't handle seeing something cut in half in value in a very short period of time, then you shouldn't be in Bitcoin. Being a trader is one of the, and I coached traders for almost a decade. That was my job. And trust me, that trading is one of the absolute hardest things you will ever do, you could ever possibly do. I had an ex-partner who was a professional baseball player, spent his whole life training to be a professional baseball player. It's easier to become a professional athlete in something like baseball or football or basketball. Soccer, it's easier to become a professional athlete than to be a successful professional trader. You're competing against the smartest people in the world. You're competing now against hedge funds joining, going in now in Bitcoin and the other cryptocurrencies. I'm not saying that Bitcoin is bad. I'm not saying that it won't be successful in the long run. I'm not saying that blockchain isn't a huge development for the world. What I'm saying is that don't think you're investing if you start putting money into Bitcoin. And the volatility is so huge that for a typical investor with a decent sized portfolio, you would have to put, it's just the money you would have to put in it to make a substantial difference to your overall returns. It's just not worth the time you have to invest to be a trader and watch it. Because being a trader, you're watching it minute by minute, hour by hour. It's actually one of the most boring businesses you could ever be in is trading. So this is a long rant. Just know what you're getting into. And if you're jumping in right now, you're a trader, you're not an investor. And if you don't know how to be a trader and you haven't studied how to be a trader, then be very, very careful. So that is, boy, that's the first video I've ever done that was sort of topical news related, but there you go. I'm Jeff Walker. Wherever you're watching this, scroll down, leave a comment for me, and let's go get him this week.